Most people don't ruin their lives in a single dramatic moment. They don't suddenly wake up one day and make a conscious decision to settle for less, to struggle unnecessarily, or to remain confined within a small, limited existence. What actually happens is a much quieter, more insidious process. Over time, they drift through life. They follow routines they never initially chose. They accept circumstances they never critically examined or questioned. They repeat patterns they never intentionally designed, and slowly, almost imperceptibly, they become passive passengers in their own lives, content to let life happen without taking control. This is precisely why so many people feel stuck, not because they lack ability or opportunity, but because they have stopped taking responsibility for guiding their own direction. And it is this sense of direction, more than desire, that ultimately determines your true destination in life. The comfort zone trap. The comfort zone is one of the most dangerous places a human being can find themselves in. It's dangerous not because it's painful, but because it's painless. Comfort feels safe, familiar, predictable, so much so that it can become a trap. It asks nothing of you except that you remain the same, and that's where the problem lies. Most people confuse comfort with security. They believe that staying in their comfort zone protects their future, but in reality, it only preserves their present. The comfort zone whispers deceptive lies like, "This is good enough, at least it's stable, it could be worse, or I'll change someday." But someday is a vague concept that rarely ever turns into today. Growth does not occur within comfort. True progress requires pressure, challenge, and pushing beyond boundaries. Transformation demands discomfort, because every meaningful change in life involves leaving something familiar behind. Without stepping out of the comfort zone, no genuine development occurs. Why excuses are so attractive? Excuses are incredibly tempting because they serve to protect the ego. When life isn't unfolding as hoped, it's easier to point outward, blaming factors like the economy, the government, upbringing, the boss, the spouse, or lack of time and money. While circumstances are real and undeniable, excuses are entirely optional. Excuses allow us to avoid confronting the truth of who we have become or what choices we have made. They soften responsibility, delay action, and numb any sense of urgency. But here's the critical truth most people avoid. Every excuse you cling to costs you a part of your future. You don't need to control everything to take responsibility for something. Taking responsibility is actually the doorway to true freedom. It's the key to moving forward rather than remaining stuck. Personal responsibility, the turning point. The moment your life begins to change is not determined by external circumstances alone. It is triggered by a shift within you. Personal responsibility is not about blaming yourself. It's about recognizing your power. It's the deliberate decision to declare, "This is my life, this is my direction, this is my responsibility." When you accept responsibility for your choices and actions, you reclaim control over your life, because you cannot change what you refuse to acknowledge or own. You may not be responsible for where you initially started, but you are certainly responsible for where you choose to remain or move forward. One of the most dangerous lies people tell themselves is this is just how life is. The truth is, this is how life appears when left to chance, or default, rather than designed with purpose. Living by default versus living by design. Most individuals live their lives by default, responding reactively rather than proactively. They wake up, react to circumstances, and repeat patterns, often spending their days putting out fires and managing emergencies instead of actively building a desired future. Living by design, however, requires intentionality. It involves asking difficult but essential questions. What do I want my life to look like in 5 years? What habits am I cultivating that are leading me toward or away from that vision? Who am I becoming as I continue these routines? Designing your life doesn't mean controlling every variable or every detail. It's about choosing your direction with conscious awareness. Even small, seemingly insignificant decisions made daily compound over time, creating extraordinary results. Success rarely stems from a single dramatic leap. Instead, it emerges from consistent daily disciplines and habits. The cost of staying stuck. Remaining stuck in a comfort zone comes with a hidden cost: regret. Regret for missed opportunities, unpursued potential, postponed discipline, and a life that could have been much richer and more fulfilled. Time is relentless. It does not wait for clarity or certainty. Years pass regardless of growth or stagnation. The greatest tragedy is not outright failure, but arriving at the end of life realizing that you lived far below your true capacity. It's the quiet disappointment of knowing you never fully tapped into your potential. How to escape the cycle. Breaking free from the cycle of stagnation does not depend primarily on motivation. Motivation is fleeting and unreliable. It always ebbs and flows. Instead, the key is a decisive commitment, an act of choosing to change, a decision to lift your standards, sharpen your thinking, improve your habits, and accept responsibility for your life. You don't have to overhaul everything overnight. Begin small. Start today. Adopt one new habit. Establish one new discipline. Make one new commitment. Small, consistent changes gradually reshape your identity, and when your identity shifts, your behaviors follow suit. Discipline over motivation. Discipline is the real bridge between setting goals and achieving them. Absent discipline, motivation alone is insufficient. Motivation might say, "I'll do it when I feel like it." But discipline insists, "I'll do it because it needs to be done." Feelings are unreliable. Habits are dependable. The individuals who break free from the cycle are not necessarily more gifted. They are more disciplined. They stick to the small tasks consistently, even when no one is watching, even when it's inconvenient or uncomfortable. Your environment matters. You cannot expect to live an inspired, motivated life within an uninspired environment. The people you surround yourself with, what you listen to, what you read, and what behaviors you tolerate, all shape your mindset and perspective. If you genuinely desire different results, you must upgrade your inputs. Your environment should challenge you to grow, not coddle or lull you into complacency. The final wake-up call: if you don't take the initiative to design your life, someone else will do it for you. Whether that's an employer, circumstances, fears, or external forces, your life will be crafted by others unless you step up and lead your own journey. You don't need permission or perfect conditions to begin. What you need is courage. The courage to take responsibility and make intentional choices. Comfort is seductive, and excuses are easy, but true freedom comes through responsibility. Once you embrace that responsibility, the cycle begins to break. Your future is not determined by luck, but by deliberate leadership. Your leadership.